Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mike with FormAWin. Welcome back to another interview. Today we have Chris. He's an awesome engineer and awesome guy. I've known him for a long time, especially throughout college. He's the president of the ASME Space Coast Branch. He's an awesome engineer. Let's get into it, guys.
FormAWin for over 4 months
Part
now.
of the FormAWin community for a couple months now.
I just got my first internship.
Just landed my first internship.
Biggest thing I want you guys to do is take one thing away from today and make sure you implement it in your life.
100% directly resulted in me getting an internship offer.
Chris, welcome in.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, I mean, it's a super honor to kind of have you here, right? I mean, we did college together for a little bit. I've seen you grow, change positions, grow, become a leader, and I just love everything you're doing. So it's great to be here. And for everybody watching, make sure you have a pen, piece of paper. As usual, feel free to rewatch this 10 times and make sure you get at least one thing out of it, because that's how you really change your life and start taking action on this stuff. Whatever your goal is, write it down, right? If you're looking for an internship, trying to excel in your next internship, whatever your goal is right now, you need to write it down. By the end of this video, I want you to take one thing out of it and go apply it. That way you can go accomplish that, right? So Chris, let's go ahead and talk about you a little bit, man. So tell us about your background.
Yeah, let's get into it. It's been a crazy ride since college. A lot of years have passed, learned a lot over the last couple of years, on a personal basis and a professional basis. So super happy to share that. As your great intro said, I'm a civil engineer out of UCF. I'm currently the president of the American Society of Civil Engineers over in the Space Coast, so Brevard and Indian River County. And I'm a field engineer for Tensar. So we are a product manufacturer. So I'm out in the field all day talking with contractors, defending specs, just helping out on site. But definitely looking forward to talking to you today. It's gonna be good.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, like you've done some really cool stuff, right? And like this new position too, it's more so tech sales, because you
Yep.
were an awesome engineer and an awesome leader. Now you're kind of taking that, you're able to revolutionize a lot of stuff. So I mean, I love that for you. And I mean, like we talked a little bit earlier, I was going to go maybe into tech sales too. That's a story for another day. But you know, talk to us a little bit more maybe about some of your earlier struggles, right? So like take us back to college, Chris, where we're at, looking for a
Of
first
course.
internship. Let's start there.
Yeah, let's start back at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So I moved down to Florida from New Jersey. Know absolutely no one. I know I want to be an engineer, but I don't know which one I want to be. No clue, right? So I show up to UCF. I'm like, okay, I need some friends and I need a career path, right? And UCF has the benefit of having so many students and a lot of opportunities. So I started going to clubs, like you said, ASME, ASCE, American Society of Civil Engineers. I went to Space Rock Club. I went to Rocket Club. I went to about every engineering club you can think of. And one day I walked into the ASCE Club, American Society of Civil Engineers, and I instantly hit it off with everyone. And I'm like, oh my God, these are my people. This is my career. And so I started learning, what is a civil engineer? What do we do? What do we build? I love construction. I love building, love Legos, right? That's a big part of it.
Right.
So I started talking to the ASC kids. I started going to their meetings. And before I knew it, I was rowing in their concrete canoe competition. So what the heck is a concrete canoe? It's a canoe you make out of concrete, some lightweight concrete. Add some void space in there, and it offsets the water, and you can float it. And they race it every year. So as a freshman in college, going from knowing absolutely no one to having a ton of friends, basically overnight, rowing in this competition. It was up. We traveled to UF for that one. Super cool experience. So that was kind of my first introduction to a struggle, and then solving that struggle with just going out and meeting people and starting that network.
I love it, man. And one of the biggest things that's overlooked here that not a lot of people focus on is just number one, you're a genuine, loving person, and that just takes you a long way, right? So I think everybody needs to kind of assess where you're at, right? Maybe ask 10 of your closest friends what they think about you, and then try to get an honest conversation out of them. Because I know if we talk to anyone that Chris knows, they would all say the same thing, where he's a loving, awesome man, right? Because of that, you attract some great things. So, I mean, that's what happened with you, right? So,
For
um,
sure.
did we
For sure.
touch on the first internship or no?
We did not.
All right,
So
there.
let's go through it. Yeah, I really started really in the beginning there. So first internship was I was doing surveying back in Jersey. So I did my semester at UCF, came home for the summer. I had a contact that worked at a survey firm,
Okay.
and I put out some feelers, sent out some resumes, but it's tough. It's tough as a freshman to get an
Yep.
get an engineering internship. So I always recommend maybe look industry adjacent. surveying is, I would say, adjacent to civil engineering. So that was my stepping stone into the industry. And for a civil engineer, every project starts with a survey, no matter what you're doing. So moving forward from that, it looked fantastic that I was surveying and I loved it. I loved surveying. I was out there every day during the summer with a big machete cutting down wood, getting my total station in there, trying to survey some remote points. So that was a fantastic opportunity. I came back to UCF for the semester and got a second internship at Inwood Consultants doing transportation design. So that was my first kind of intro into CAD work, into more design work, office setting, in the office 24/7. I realized I'm not an office guy. Loved Inwood, fantastic company, made some amazing connections, but I was not an office guy. So I started looking around. I became the president of the student chapter at UCF for the American Society of Civil Engineers. So I kind of treat that like a little internship.
Yeah.
And then I started with Burgess and Nyepel, I want to say senior year, so third internship in college. Began inspecting bridges. So that was pretty cool. It was going out to Mississippi and Oklahoma, crawling through culverts, crawling under bridges, going in waterways, looking for for defects. So that was a really cool experience. That was my first kind of introduction to traveling, to writing official reports, technical writing, right? And being, I would say, responsible for something, right? Like if there's a defect in a bridge, that's a big deal, right? And that's a taste of the engineering responsibility that we're all going to face moving forward in this career. So that was an awesome stepping point, and that took me to the end of college, and then I started my professional career as a general contractor.
That is an incredible journey. So I want everybody to kind of just take that and digest that, right? Because Chris is a go-getter. He went out and made this stuff happen, and you can be as well. And one of the biggest things to take away from that as well, like the beginning part, which I've never heard a phrase like this, and like I love the way you phrase it, because I mean we do this with a lot of our clients and a lot of students. Maybe they think like this, but to kind of put this verbiage behind it, looking career adjacent. I mean, with wherever anybody's at here, depending on what your goal is, kind of reverse engineer this. Say, okay, I want to be here again, and just like Chris said, what's adjacent to that to help me get there? Because then that obviously puts you a step ahead, and I can put them a step ahead. So I just love that. I mean, that's awesome. Chris. Let's kind of get into a little bit further with maybe what are some of your future goals?
That's a good question, because goals change and goals change fast. So coming out of college, it was always, I want to excel in my career as fast as possible. So I came out with my civil engineering degree, but did not practice engineering. I went into general contracting. So I would say another industry adjacent move. I was out in the field in a construction trailer for 3 years, working on a big project. And I was very much in the mindset of, I want to work 12 hours a day because I know that my boss is going to appreciate that his boss is going to appreciate that, and it's going to accelerate my way to project manager. So I had goals. I wanted to be a assistant project manager, an APM within 2 years. I wanted to be a PM within 3 years. I wanted to take on that responsibility. And I did it for a long time. For the first 2 years, I hit the road running. And I loved it. It was good. I didn't have much responsibility on my personal side. I was fresh out of college. So it was a really good experience. I will say, moving forward, as I realize kind of what's important to me and what's not, I really want to start striking that balance, right? Work-life balance. I want to work on Chris as much as I'm working on my career. I want to take some time for myself, go travel, right? So a lot of those goals have changed from a more, quantifiable, a hard number, to a more softer number, to a more, I want to do what makes me happy. Do I, instead of wanting to bench press a certain amount this week, right? I want to just make sure I'm getting out there and getting a good workout. And do I feel good after the workout, right?
Exactly.
So a lot of those hard numbers I had in my head, 2 years, 3 years, this position, this title, this dollar amount has shifted for me. And this is completely unique to me, but has shifted more to a softer, is this what I want to do? Is this what I want to be waking up and doing for 40 hours a week? Is this how I want to feel physically? Is this how I want to feel after a 2-hour hike? And if it's not, how do I fix that? So the goals have shifted a little bit, but they're still there and they're still very important.
Yeah, man. And like, I mean, that's what life is about, right? I mean, like, there's no
Yep.
one that's going to say, okay, do life this way and then that's it, right? I mean, life changes. I mean, we all know we've all been through hard times and different
Oh
times and
yeah.
downs and going through different weird stuff. And, just about just trying to find yourself and work on yourself and just try to be your best self. And that's what you're doing. And that's why you're a great leader. That's why you're a great person. So I respect that. And everybody else, you should take that into account with your life as well, right? Like, where are you at? Are you only focused on work? Or are you also kind of trying to figure out how to be your best self too? So super important, and I'm glad you're sharing that too. So
Of course,
that's
it's
great.
easy. It's easy to hyper focus, and you get into that career path, and you're all. And I think it's great. It's great for a lot of people, but take some time for yourself, for sure,
All
and
right.
find your way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of finding your way, actually, funny transition. So a little bit of an odd question, being president of clubs all throughout college and now too,
Mm.
right? I mean, like you see a lot of students, you see a lot of engineers, right? So I want to talk about maybe just some general things or specific things too. If you got some cool, fun stories about some students you've
Yeah.
seen, maybe their success stories where they failed, different things like that. Like, what's the first thing that pops up in your head when I say that stuff?
So I think the best skill, flat out, best skill you can learn is to turn an interview into a conversation, right? And you can really apply that to a lot of different situations. Everything is stressful. It's nervous, right? Going into an interview is stressful. Meeting someone that's in a higher position or meeting someone for the first time is stressful, especially as a student,
Yep.
because you feel like you don't know too much, right? And I'll share a really funny story of one of my biggest fails of my life that I still think about.
All right.
But practice makes perfect, and that is completely true with networking and public speaking.
Yep.
And as a student, it's the prime time to mess up. Like you are in a period of your life where you hold very little engineering responsibility, and it is a great time to just kind of goof up, right?
Yep.
So, a story I have that lives in my head rent free, probably for the rest of my life. There was a teacher at UCF. I must have been a freshman or a sophomore. I forget what year, but he taught statics, and he was running a research for. He was doing some survey research.
Mhm.
So I love survey. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to his office hours, see if he needs help. And I walk. This is the first office hours I've ever been to
Okay.
for a professor, right? So I walk into his classroom, and he looks at me, and I introduce myself, and he asks me what class I have him with, and I completely pause. I cannot think of the name of his class. I can't even talk. And I stare at this guy for like an uncomfortable amount of time, like a weird amount of time. And long story short, I did not get the position. I did not work under him. But it taught me, I was like, oh my God, I just really ate crap there, but I'm not gonna do that again. I know what I did wrong. I felt it. That feeling of putting myself out there was so new to me, and but I got out of the way. I got out of the way, and I was a freshman in college, and it gave me a stepping stone to hit to now feel comfortable moving on and gaining new positions of public speaking, of leadership, and to this day, I still am not a fan of public speaking. I don't love it,
Yeah.
and every time I get it, and I do it a lot. I do it twice a week, probably. Every few weeks. Um, and I have to hype myself up and I say, hey, you know, you've done this before, you hit your stride, and once I start talking, that feeling goes away. But you have to put yourself in those uncomfortable positions first to then know how to handle them. It's just a fact of life. And college is a perfect time to get those fun, horrible experiences out of the way.
I
Yep.
love it, man. Such great, good, awesome advice. You need to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Great moral of
Yep.
the story, right? So, I mean, for everybody watching, just kind of process this a little bit, right? What are you doing in your current life to try to find a position if that's your goal or whatever your other goal is? And what are you doing to kind of avoid the next uncomfortable step to get closer to that? I'd analyze that, write down that one thing. If you go do that, this video changed your life. So, Chris, thank you so much again. I mean, we got some more stuff to go through for sure. So let's talk
Yeah,
about
of course.
fitness. In engineering, I don't think enough people talk about fitness. So I like bringing it up here to talk to us a little bit about how much fitness has been in your life and important and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, fitness is super important. And I'm a person that has definitely struggled with maintaining a good personal fitness throughout this career and throughout, especially this career path. Like I said, things are stressful.
Yeah.
Projects take over. You want to stay late at work or you're stressed out and maybe you don't feel like going to the gym or you get a little, complacent, you just want to hang out.
Yep.
Um, for me personally, it's a big confidence boost when you feel comfortable in your own skin. And maybe you walk into an interview and you have a nice button-down shirt, right, and tie, and you feel comfortable in your body. And it gives you that confidence to really go in there and try to kill that interview. And as I get older, I'm realizing I'm 27 now, but I feel 50. And I'm realizing that, okay, fitness is more about how I want to feel when I go do these activities and go out and explore, go hiking, go to these national parks. I want to be able to hike, right? Or I want to be able to whitewater raft, or I want to be able to scuba dive more efficiently. So I think it's transitioned throughout my life as fitness being a big confidence boon, being something to do, staying healthy, right? Enjoying working out, to also now it's a big part of my life of just feeling good and wanting to feel good and wanting to feel better every day.
I
So
love
it's
it.
been a big part. It's
I
been,
don't think I could have said it better myself. We all go through struggles, myself included. So,
yep.
I mean, for everybody watching, right, it's just important to talk about this with people, prioritize it. So, Chris, I mean, great answer, right? Everybody watching, that's one other thing. I mean, if you walk away with this video with 20 things to go change your life, I mean, that works too, right? So, whatever it is, let's get back into a little bit of engineering for helping
Yep.
just get their first job and different things like that. So, we already talked about some awesome advice, right? I don't know if you have any other stories you want to share, but the question here, on top of any other stories, is going to be
Yep.
what's something that's often overlooked? Maybe
Mhm.
trying to find a position, grow, develop for students, right? Because there might be just something that people are overlooking, right?
Yeah, I think so. For me personally, in my journey, a lot of my interviews have been soft skills based. And I think that might be a little more geared towards civil engineering in general, where we're dealing a lot with clients and it's a little less technical interviews.
Mhm.
So I haven't experienced too many of those, especially as a general contractor working with clients a lot. And especially in the position I'm in now as a field engineer, more technical sales. So I really want to push the soft skills. I think it's overlooked. You can
Yep.
be a fantastic engineer, right? And at least in my industry, all I'm hearing nowadays is we need the soft skills. We don't have people that want to interact with the clients. We don't have people that can close those deals or perform a bid, right? And go out and present on why the team should win that project, right? So we have a lot of really, really great engineers, especially coming out of UCF, coming out of Florida and then the United States, great engineers. And that's important. But you really, really need to focus on those soft skills. And they're hard to build. I mean, you can open up a book and you can learn algebra, calculus, right? And take some time and study for it. And we go to 4 years of school for it. But it's hard to be personable sometimes.
Yep.
And you walk into situations that the other person is not personable and
Yep.
they don't want you there. And it's, maybe an owner is having a really bad day and
Yep.
there's nothing to do with your project, but he is pissed, right? He's probably out a lot of money. He or she's out a lot of money, and they want someone to scream at. Or, you get out to a site and a contractor is having a terrible day or just doesn't want you there, right? He's been working 12 hours a day for the last 80 years and he's not having a good time, right?
Yeah.
So so I think it's overlooked a lot of times that we're so focused on building these technical skills, which are very important, but we don't put ourselves in the position to grow in the soft skills. And so it's really easy to tackle a hard project or to become not easy, but you can become CAD certified or you can go to an extra class, right? Extra elective or become this certified, that certified, P6 scheduling. But how often do you force yourself to go public speak? Unless you're pursuing a position in leadership in one of these clubs, you don't get many opportunities, and you're definitely not taking a class on it usually. So I think that's overlooked in the industry for sure.
I love it, Chris. And this kind of came full circle for me too, because I mean, like we focus on a lot of this at FormAWin, but a lot of people say the soft skills, right? And this kind of just clicked in my head where it's like, yes, but instead of like let's improve the soft skills, let's improve the sales skills. Because
Mm,
it's trying to, I mean, every person we talk to, we're selling ourselves. If it's not in tech sales or if it's just in an engineering meeting, we're trying to move the team in a direction, make sure we're all on the same page. I mean, you're selling that direction or whatever is happening, right? So
yep.
that's another take on it. So, I mean, I'm glad you shared all that and echoed that because I mean, that's really important and nobody focuses on that because then everybody's like, okay, I need to go get another CAD certification. No, we need, yes, but no, like we need to do everything.
Yep.
So I love it. Awesome, Chris. Let's
Good.
keep going down the rabbit hole here. So if you were just starting out again, let's just say that first summer you didn't go back to New Jersey, right? You didn't have a contact. What are you doing to find an internship or job quick and easy?
Mm. So nowadays, more than ever, you got to get out in front of people.
Yep.
And I think looking back, I did this very well, and I'm proud of myself for doing it. Is going to the career fairs, going to go to lunch, right? Invite them out to lunch. If you have a contact that can maybe get you where you think you want to be, take them out for lunch. But it's so easy nowadays to hop on LinkedIn and submit 1,000 resumes. I've done it. I've definitely been there. It just gets lost. It gets lost in the network now, right? There's so much information flying around. Everyone's moving at light speed, trying to keep up. It's hard to make an impression. So if I could go back and tell little freshman Chris, hey, this will really help you out. I think it's to really double down on career fairs, double down on just building up that network because like networking's hard and social batteries run out really fast and it's hard to get out there and not stay in your dorm room and skip the career fair, right? And do a little research before you go. Look up what companies are going, tailor maybe your resume more towards it, or at least have a question loaded for that company when you get there. And go out and sell yourself. Like, sell yourself. You're your best product for sure. Become we at Tensar, we like to say trusted advisor, right? That's our goals. We want our clients to trust us to come to us with a problem that has nothing to do with the product we sell. And that's our ultimate goal. So, if you're looking for an employer, sell yourself and have them want you, right? Um, and I think that goes into a lot of rolling into the interview process and having a conversation instead of an interview and really elevating your interviewing skills. Yeah.
Awesome, Chris. Great answer. Great interview. We're almost done, but I mean, I hope everybody watching got a ton of value out of this. I mean, I did, right? And I'm sure everybody else did as well. So, Chris, what's your favorite hobby outside of work?
That's good. That's a good question. That's a good question. I am in the age of exploration. I think my hobby right now is finding new hobbies. And I've been getting outside. I love being outside. So I'll go fishing all the time. I kind of touched on it before, whitewater rafting. I just started scuba diving, which has been fun. Super cool experience. But anything that's just new, getting out, you got to break the monotony. We're all working hard, right? And a lot of the days they can feel the same really easily. A lot of the projects kind of look similar, right? And so something to blur the lines a little bit, to do something crazy, just something safe and crazy. But yeah, so go out camping, go out, connect with nature, go for a hike. I know we don't have too many mountains here in Florida, but go for a walk. and,
Yeah.
and if you don't think you're gonna like something, just try it. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, but give it a shot. But definitely, my hobby is hobbies right now.
Awesome, Chris. I love it. I mean, that's super cool. I mean, I love being outside as well, just trying some new things. As of recent, I've been playing more basketball. That's not really related,
Nice.
but I love what you're talking about. Everybody needs to go do this stuff, right? Because then
Yeah.
that adds to when you're going out to network too. You get to talk about something, right? So I love it. So let's
Listen,
go on ahead. I mean, this is gonna wrap it up, guys. Chris, I want you to kind of take a moment. If there's anything else you want to share, advice you give to your younger self, any other extra stories, anything that's kind of pulling on your heart right now that there's a student watching, they're struggling, they can't find an internship, lay it on them.
yeah. I think the most important thing I can touch on is just the interview process and maybe what's helped me nail interviews. I've done a million interviews in my life. Um, I don't know why, but I love them.
Yep.
I've interviewed for many positions. I've interviewed people for a lot of general contracting positions. Um, when I say have a conversation with your interviewer, talk about yourself. You got to get away from one word answers,
Yeah.
right? And you don't want to be on the defense the whole interview, right? It shouldn't feel like an interrogation. You are interviewing that company as much as they are interviewing you. And if you go in with that mentality, it will save you so much stress and probably a lot more interviews down the road.
Yep.
Um, you know, there's being personable, and that, like I said, is a skill that you'll learn. But go in there, have some questions ready. But when they ask you questions, go above and beyond the small answer, right? If you have say you're a cashier at Target, right? And the interviewer asks about that. Instead of saying, yeah, I scanned their items, right? Say what you learned. Hey, yeah, I learned how to deal with people, right? I was out there and let me tell you, some people are having a bad day. And being there, experiencing all those different people really gave me some insight about how different people work and how to kind of read on those emotions. How do I pick up if someone wants to talk or someone doesn't, right? So fill that time in the interview. You should be talking. It's your interview. Find a club you love, American Society of Civil Engineers, mechanical engineers, etc. Concrete canoe. You can talk about a concrete canoe for 45 minutes. I can talk about a concrete, right?
Okay.
Everyone wants to know what it is. So
That's
you,
interview part two. No.
yeah, right. Yeah. So, right. But make it a conversation. That should be the goal. It should not be an interview, it should be a conversation. Ask some questions about them, and really make it that like this, right? We're having fun, it's
Yep.
light. It's not, you're grilling me on questions. I'm giving you 2-word answers
One
and
plus
then we
one.
move
No.
on. Yeah, right. Yeah. So,
Chris, thank you
but
so
I think
much.
that's my final, you know.
To just wrap this up, like especially with what you just said, right? I mean, with the person working at Target or over here and over here, like to just wrap this up for everybody watching that's kind of in these situations, right? I mean, something that we like to say with FormAWin is we don't like preparing for interviews because we're not trying to prepare to be someone that we're not. So in these
Mm,
that you currently have, projects, clubs, classes, whatever it is that you're trying to, do good in, like actually try to do good in. Because if you actually try to do your best, then when you show up to an interview, you actually tried your best, you're able to talk about that and not have to prepare to be someone that you're not, right? And then the big
right.
thing you also said, Chris, is like especially since you interview people and things like that, something that we teach all of our clients, as a student, and I think we touched on this in the beginning, but as a student, and then you got a recruiter or someone, it's like, okay, that recruiter has everything that you want, but you got like, not too much to give them, but you have a lot to give them. And something that you just said, Chris, was like that energy, right? Because if you make their day better, that's probably going to be better than a lot of other people that come in with those one-word answers or things like that. So that just wraps us up in a nice nutshell. So thank you so much.
No, I love not to jump
Oh,
in, but I love what you said about not preparing in that sense, right? We're not robots. We're not looking for you to have the right questions to my, ChatGPT answers, right? Like we want you to be a person, and we, like you said before, sell yourself, right? And if you prepare in that sense, I don't think I've ever walked into an interview with a question like an answer loaded in my mind,
yep.
right? I take the questions in. I think about my honest response, and if you know yourself and you feel confident, you're loose and ready to go, you can give an answer and you'll give it honestly, right? And hold the conversation, keep it going, more than 2 words, but answer honestly. That's definitely the most important thing. So I like that. I like that you touched on that. Of
Awesome, Chris. Everybody watching, hopefully you got value out of this. This has been amazing. Again, Chris, thank you so much for being here.
course.
Everybody watching, feel free to connect with him. I'll drop his LinkedIn down in the description, but that's going to wrap it up for now. Stay tuned. We have big things coming with FormAWin. Feel free to reach out if you need help with anything and go FormAWin. See you guys later.